Let's talk about the question every snowbird eventually asks, but rarely gets a straight answer to. How much does it really cost to be a snowbird in Vernon, BC? Not just the purchase price, not just property taxes. I'm talking about the real ongoing costs, the ones that matter when you're only here part of the year. Because snowbird living can be incredibly affordable and stress-free, or it can be quietly expensive depending on how you set it up. So today I'm going to break down all the costs clearly, honestly, and without all the fluff. I'm Lisa Salt with Remax Vernon Salt Fowler. This is video number 5 in my Snowbird Living in Vernon, BC playlist, where we walk through everything you need to know before buying as a part-time resident. Today is all about costs and budgeting, so you can decide if snowbird living in Vernon fits comfortably into your plan. Let's talk purchase price. What snowbirds can actually buy. Let's start with the biggest number, the purchase price. Most snowbirds in Vernon are buying things like townhomes, condos, detached homes in managed communities. So as a rough guide, condos, apartments, you're kind of $350 to $550-ish. Townhomes, you're $500 to $750. Resort or gated communities, you're higher depending on the location. And I mean, the sky's the limit, right? And we have lots of house videos that reflect current pricing, and you can look at them here on our channel. The key point here is it isn't the exact price. It's that snowbirds usually buy less house, but a better setup. And that choice affects every other cost that follows. So let's talk about strata fees and what you're actually paying for. Those fees are one of the most misunderstood costs and one of the most valuable for snowbirds. Typical strata fees might range from $300 to $600 or more per month, depending on the amenities and the services. And what that usually covers is snow removal, landscaping, exterior maintenance, exterior insurance on common structures, maybe the exterior insurance on your unit as well. Sometimes it includes water, sewer, or amenities. And so for snowbirds, strata fees just replace those costs you'd otherwise pay separately, and they buy you that peace of mind while you're away. Someone else is looking after them. If you do choose to go for somewhere, say like the Outback, or maybe one of the apartments at Predator Ridge, those numbers, those strata fees are going to be much higher depending on the size of your unit, because there's all those other amenities to take care of. You still have to pay for sometimes elevators or pools or hot tubs or things like that. Let's talk about property taxes and utilities. So property taxes are relatively reasonable in Vernon compared to many of the BC cities. Most snowbird-friendly homes fall into that $2,500 to $4,500 a year, depending on the price and the location. Utilities for part-time residents are going to be lower than expected because your heat is going to be turned down while you're away. There's minimal water usage. Electricity is primarily for those basic systems. So many snowbirds are pleasantly surprised by how manageable these costs are when the home is set up properly. Now let's talk about insurance and absence requirements. That insurance is an important but very manageable part of snowbird budgeting. So most insurers want regular property checks and proof that someone is monitoring the home every few days, reasonable winter precautions, they may want the water shut off or something like that. Now, homes in strata or managed communities often already meet some of these requirements, which can keep your insurance costs stable and, more predictable. And this is another reason why the right setup matters more than the cheapest purchase price. So you will have to have someone check your home. Normally in a strata situation, you can maybe trade off with a neighbor, or there are people you can hire to do that for you. The cost is just going to be a lot more. Now let's talk about some maintenance costs, maybe some hidden costs. This is where these costs can quietly creep in or disappear entirely. Snowbirds with the right home type usually pay very little beyond their strata fees. Snowbirds with the wrong home may pay for things like snow clearing, lawn care, regular check-ins, and emergency repairs. The difference isn't thousands per month, but it does add up over time. The good news is most of these costs are optional if you choose wisely from the start. Let's talk about travel costs. These are often overlooked. Travel is part of the snowbird lifestyle, and it's worth budgeting for, realistically. Things to consider: you have to consider your flights to and from your winter destination, vehicle storage or use where you're at. Are you going to rent a car? Are you going to drive a car down there? Airport access, if you're flying, Kelowna International Airport is only about 45 minutes away. Now, these costs vary widely, but they're usually predictable year to year once you settle into a routine if you're going to the same place every time. Now, what does snowbird living really cost in the big picture? So when you add it all up, most snowbirds find that snowbird living in Vernon is very manageable because the costs are predictable with the right setup. Stress is usually a bigger issue than money, and that's fixable. The snowbirds who are happiest aren't the ones who spent the least or the ones that bought the biggest property. They're the ones who planned the best. If you're finding this information helpful, make sure you're watching our full Snowbird Living in Vernon, BC playlist. The next video is going to cover the most common mistakes snowbirds make when buying and how to avoid them. I've linked the playlist below. Whether you're moving in 9 days or 90 days or just curious about the area that we call home, be sure to call, text, or email and just add salt. So snowbird living in Vernon doesn't need to be expensive and it doesn't need to be complicated. With the right home, the right neighborhood, and the right expectations, it can be one of the most enjoyable ways to live. If you'd like help running the real numbers or comparing options that fit your budget and lifestyle, we'd be happy to help. And don't forget to continue through the Snowbird Living playlist. As always, just add salt. Next up, like we said, costly mistakes snowbird make when buying.